Once again, show the shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back. And I know you're thinking, he's back again already? Shit. Okay. Well, there's a lot to talk about, and I really wanted to get into it. Last thing we left off on, I was talking about Obamacare, and I was talking about more specifically how to recap really quickly, is just, I just wish that people who want to repeal Obamacare would just be honest with me and just say to my face, we don't care about you. Just say that. Just that because that is basically what you're saying. I know, and no one's going to say it because everybody always wants to be portrayed. Everybody wants to be seen as a good person. Everybody wants to be thought of as a humanitarian person. And you know what? I am 100% sure that everybody that wants to repeal Obamacare wishes with all their heart that the people that don't have health insurance, can't afford health insurance, they wish that they could, as long as they don't have to, contribute to paying for it. That's a fact. That's what I want people to just say. It's like nobody likes higher taxes. Nobody likes paying for shit, okay? But we do live in a society, and a society is a series of relationships. And when you continue to marginalize those without the have-nots, those haves, don't be surprised when the have-nots, rise up, rebel against you, and kill you. I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying, don't be surprised. Like I said, I'm going to try to not be a hypocrite when it comes to this. Does my having Obamacare, also known as the Affordable Care Act, does my having Obamacare, does that mean that you have to pay more for your insurance? Yeah, probably. Does that mean that maybe some of the doctors that you really loved are no longer in your plan? Yeah, there's a good chance of that. Yeah, okay, right. So you have to pay a little bit more, or maybe it's a lot more, but it's enough that you can probably still afford it. I'm willing to guess. I don't pretend to know what every individual situation is, but by and large, when people can afford, as far as the world I've seen, the people that can afford health care, be it through their job or privately, are usually better off than the people that can't. And of course, we would all like to say, well, that maybe the people that can't should educate themselves. Maybe they should find a way to get a better job. Maybe they should find a way to make more money. Maybe they should get off welfare. And maybe that's all true, but that still leaves roughly 50 million people in our country that don't get regular medical attention. And so then what happens is when these people end up really, really sick, they end up in emergency rooms that, you end up paying for anyway. So what's the old saying? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. By denying people health care, even the most basic of health, by denying them that, you are basically volunteering to pay for them when their condition gets so bad that they need emergency help, which, by the way, is expensive like a bitch. Costs way more than, preventative care. It just does. Okay, now. Moving on. Hold on here. Hold on. Now, once again, just to make sure you understand, we have President-elect Donald J. Trump. Bravo. Bravo, Republicans. Bravo, right-wingers. You got elected quite possibly the most unstable human being on this planet to the most powerful position in the entire free world. Bravo. Hey, not going to hate on you. All right? Hey. At the very least, you wanted to get somebody in there that wasn't Hillary. Hey, I get that. All right, I get it. Hey, I'll be the first one to tell you, I did not vote for Hillary. I mean, yes, I put her name down on my ballot, but I was actually voting for myself. All right, just to let you know, because while I don't like the idea of 550,000 Syrian refugees coming into the country, I do like the idea that I get to go see my dentist, my doctor, and my drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. No, once again, I'm not really. I'm not clean and sober. Don't worry about that. Anyway, you know what I think is really funny? By the way, before I go on, this show's music is brought to you by BD Lens. That was their first song, Along the Way. I decided to go with something a little bit more mellow than my last show with the band Bankrupt. Anyway, you know what occurred to me? That throughout this incredible process of the campaigns and the elections and yada yada, it seems that we all forgot that Donald Trump is getting sued. Do we forget about this? He's getting sued, you know? Remember the whole Trump University thing? There's a class action lawsuit that was filed in 2010 which accuses Trump and Trump University of misleading students who signed up for seminars that promised to teach insider secrets to real estate investing. Now, the students claim that they were told instructors were, quote, handpicked, end quote, by Trump when they weren't, and the program falsely held itself out to be an accredited university. There are potentially more than 7,000 eligible class members for this. Yeah. It's funny. We all forgot. Everyone was concentrating on the idea that, on Hillary being prosecuted for her illegal computer server and all those top secret emails that were actually really pretty much nothing. But we all forgot Donald J. Trump is being sued. President-elect Donald Trump is being sued by roughly 7,000 people for fraud. Now, as far as the case is concerned, recently a lawyer has filed a motion in federal court in San Diego on Saturday night to delay the Trump University trial until after the presidential inauguration, arguing that a few extra months would give both sides time to videotape Donald Trump's testimony or possibly reach a settlement. All right? The trial was scheduled to begin on November 28th. Now, in the motion, Trump's attorney, Daniel Petrocelli, lays out a plan that would postpone the trial until sometime soon after January 20th inauguration to allow the president-elect to focus his time and energy on the transition to the White House. The motion also requests that Trump be excused from having to testify live or in person. Now, attorneys for the plaintiffs in the Trump University case have said Thursday that a delay in the trial will complicate matters and that it would be best to hold it before Trump takes office. So obviously both sides have their own vested interest at heart. Do I believe that Donald J. Trump is committed some fraud in this? Yeah, I do. Actually, really do. Just like I believe that Bill Clinton jizzed all over Monica Lewinsky. Yeah, I really do. I believe it. So let's not act like we're surprised here. But that case is still ongoing. All right? I don't remember the last time a newly elected president had this much legal trouble just going in. Now, and now, here's something that you guys may not have known about. Now, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Donald Trump has a Palm Beach estate that he has been in a fight over with the Palm Beach International Airport in Florida. Now, what's going on is that Trump, for the last 20 years, has waged a legal battle trying to stop flights out of Palm Beach International Airport in Florida from passing over a Mar-a-Lago, his island club and part-time residence. And he's been fighting this for years now. Like I said, over 20 years, and he was suing for something along the lines of like $100 million in damages for creating unreasonable amount of noise, emissions, and pollutions at Mar-a-Lago. Now, according to the head of the FAA there, and and the head of the airport at Palm Beach, they have not done anything that is illegal or inconsistent with normal practices. Even though Donald Trump has alleged that once he started the complaints against them, that they've been diverting planes over his property on purpose. Now, but now the Donald is president, which means anywhere he goes, he's entitled to presidential level security, which also includes airspace. Which means that whenever Donald J. Trump is at Mar-a-Lago to take a little vacation, flying will be restricted over his property. Big time. We're talking about the kind of flying that's restricted that involves, missiles being shot at you if you go anywhere near it. And I believe I have found the true reason that Donald Trump ran for president. I think he just wanted to stop the planes from flying over his little vacation house. Which actually isn't so little. It's an island that is it's along the lines of like 18 acres that was built in 1927 and is a National Historic Landmark. He purchased it in 1985 and has been waging battles with the Palm Beach Airport since then, International Airport since then. And now they can pretty much go fuck themselves. He's president. Finally, we understand why Donald ran for president. We finally get it. But backtrack one more time on the Obamacare thing really quickly here. The point I'm making is, yes, if you repeal Obamacare, that means that 20 million people that are currently under Obamacare get screwed, and the other 30 million that hadn't signed up for it will just continue to get screwed. And I'm saying it again, I just want a Republican to just tell me to my face, write me an email, send me a text, give me a phone call, and let me know, you know what? I don't care about you. I don't care about you and your need to see a doctor and your health and your need. Just say it. That's because that is what you're saying. Because no Republican so far has given me an alternative to Obamacare. You can go say whatever you want about President Barack Obama. He came up with the Affordable Care Act, him and his people, and they brought it together. And for the first time in about a decade, I got to go see a doctor without having to go to the ER first, okay? I got to go see a doctor who goes, hey, this feels a little weird. Can you check this out? Okay, not a big deal. Great, thanks. Hey, I just chipped my tooth, which happened last Christmas. Last Christmas, I was eating lunch, Christmas Day, and I bit down on something, and my tooth split right down the middle. You know what got to happen? In a couple of days, I got to go see a dentist. They extracted the tooth and a rotting wisdom tooth that I had back there. They extracted both of them, and now my entire mouth, my face feels better than ever. I had no idea it was that bad off. Okay, that being said, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be talking about some more stuff, including right here, the election process that occurred right here in California. All the propositions that were up, there was like 20 of them. We're going to talk about them a little bit, okay? This is BD Lens and their song Mumbo Jumbo. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be right back. Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, before we move on, Let's see. Actually, let me get rid of that. Actually, a couple of personal notes for you guys. I was actually recently a victim of crime. Yes, I was. It's true. I am a crime victim. Mind you, not the first time it's ever happened, but first time in a really long time. And it's not like one of those like stupid little crimes. Somebody broke into my car. Yeah, apparently. In my building here in West Hollywood, which is considered a pretty safe neighborhood, and I really still believe that it is. It's not like there's like, it's not like the movie The Warriors, where there's like gangs all over the place and shit. It's not like, not like that. But on Halloween night, went out for Halloween. I posted pictures. You saw that. And I went out for a couple of hours and I came back home, spent the rest of the evening with my wife, the Russian. And then I didn't, and then the next time I went to my car, I'm in my car and I'm looking around and it's like things are a little off. It's like the entire contents of my glove box were all over my passenger side seat and floor. My trunk was open and was obviously had been rifled through. I talked to one of my neighbors, and it turns out that on a Halloween night, somebody got into our parking garage, and they managed to break into several cars, including my own. And fortunately, they didn't like break any glass, or they didn't break the windows. They obviously looks like they just Slim Jimmed it and disabled the alarm, or maybe I just forgot to set the alarm and lock the car. That's been known to happen before. And fortunately, I don't keep anything of any value in my car. But somebody was in there, and it turns out that several other cars were burglarized the same way. Not my wife's car. Nobody broke it. It's a Highlander, much nicer than my car, and they didn't touch it. And I kept thinking to myself, it's like out of all the cars here to burglarize, you go with mine. It's a Ford Focus. It's an '04 Ford Focus. We're talking about a car that's almost 13 years old. All right? With dents and scratches on it, all right? It's a Ford Focus. It's an '04 Ford Focus with dents and scratches on it and an Uber emblem on the front and back of it. Now, what part of this, what about this vehicle made you think, ooh, he's got something good in there? You know what? All my Chagalls and Matisses in the trunk, they're gone. All that gold bullion I had in the glove box, gone. All the Barabons I kept under, on top of my visor, gone. Like I said, I don't keep anything of any value in my car ever. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, I was a victim of crime. Not my wife though; her car was fine, no problem. Though I did hear that one of our neighbors, their car was actually stolen. A Nissan a Versa, I think it's called. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, really? They stole some shitty low end Nissan? I mean, yeah, it was a new, but from what I understand, Japanese cars are very popular among thieves. Mind you, no car more popular than the Toyota Camry. If you have a Toyota Camry, you might as well just put a sign on it that says, please rob me. Now, next on the agenda is, I'm going to talk about L.A. and California in general because, well, that's where I live. And there was, along with our regular presidential elections, there was a whole bunch of propositions that were proposed, thus the term proposition, and some passed, some didn't. I'm going to go through some of them and, give my opinions on them, all right? Okay, Proposition 51 passed, which was a $9 billion fund for building schools. Now, this was $9 billion that was being allocated to building, renovating, and restoring schools for not just grades kindergarten through 12, but also some college campuses. Now, this also includes that the fact that it would cost roughly another $9 billion to pay it off for the next, I don't know, something like 20, 30 years. I voted against this because, once again, I don't give a shit how dumb your kids are. Proposition 52 gives hospitals control over Medi-Cal money and limits how much money is diverted to the general fund. Basically meaning that, last several years, hospitals have been doing great money-wise. They've been getting a lot of money. Whether it be from insurance or public funds or what have you, they've been doing well, but it wasn't up to them what was done with the money. Now it is. Proposition 53, voter approval for California big borrowing. This proposition failed. Apparently, most voters in California don't want to have to vote on whether or not California can borrow lots of money. Don't ask me what that's about. Prop 54 passed. This is the measure that allows for videotaping the legislature while it's in session. So if you ever have trouble sleeping at night, just turn on your TV to one of the local channels where they'll be telecasting the legislature in progress. You'll be out in like 3 seconds. Proposition 55, a tax on the rich to fund schools. 1 to 3% tax on the rich for the next 12 years. That passed. That's another one I actually voted against, and I voted against the legislature videotaping thing, and I voted for a voter approval. Go fig. And I also voted for giving hospitals control over their money. All right. Proposition 56. Now, this one hit close to home. An increase on tax on cigarettes and tobacco products to fund health care. Now, it turns out that this will increase tax on a pack of cigarettes here in the state of California, $2 a pack. Okay, I want you to think about that because that's a lot of fucking money. All right, the Russian is a smoker. She when I buy her a carton of cigarettes, it runs roughly with tax $77. I buy a carton, it's 10 packs per carton, which means that the next time I buy her a carton of cigarettes with this new tax law in place, it's going to cost nearly $100 for a 10-pack of cigarettes. So basically $10 a pack. I mean, mind you, yes, she does smoke a more high-end cigarette, but that doesn't matter because all packs of cigarettes, every pack of cigarette you buy you'll be paying an additional $2 for it. Now, the reason they do this, of course, is twofold. One, they get money to go into healthcare programs, which is bullshit. Most of that money doesn't ever make it to healthcare. And also, it's to encourage people to not smoke. That's what they're doing. They're trying to manipulate us as human beings to not smoke. Now, mind you, where this works more often than not is when it comes to kids smoking, teenagers, preteens. That's meant to discourage them from smoking, and it tends to work quite a bit because, let's face facts, the average kid doesn't have a whole lot of money in their pocket. So an extra $2 a pack, you might think twice about it. But I don't think it's fair that the government is trying to control how we behave ourselves. Everybody is always talking. I'm so sick and tired of people complaining about, let's make our buildings smoke free so you're not even allowed to smoke in your own apartment, which a lot of places around the country are doing. It's like, I'm sorry, you know what? I am not a smoker, and I have lived by myself with nobody else around, and I've had neighbors that smoke above me, below me, next to me. I never noticed it. And the whole idea of secondhand smoke killing you is bullshit. I'm saying it right now. Secondhand smoke being a killer is bullshit. I still believe, okay, look, I don't want you smoking in front of a 4-year-old. Sure, absolutely not. their body's still developing. But by and large, secondhand smoke is not the toxic killer people make it out to be. Okay, Proposition, by the way, that did pass, and I did vote against it. Okay. Proposition 57. Let's see. Earlier parole for some prison inmates for nonviolent offenders and those model citizens in prison that can acquire points for early release. It follows the Supreme Court mandate to reduce prison populations, especially here in the state of California. California has had an overpopulation of prisoners in prisons. And the reason for that is people like to say, well, you got to punish these people for what they did wrong. No, the truth of the matter is keeping prisoners in prison makes sure that those prisons continue to get federal and state money to keep them running. But now, and this I did vote for, yes, nonviolent offenders. People, simple drug possession, okay, maybe they got a DUI, but they're not, known criminals. They're not career criminals. They're just people that, got caught doing something that allegedly they weren't supposed to be. Okay. Prop 58 allows schools to provide multilingual education, restores local control to schools. Now, I voted against this because I do believe that it should be mandated that if you live in the United States, which is an English-speaking country, it is a majority of English-speaking people, you should learn how to speak English when you come to this country. Okay? I'm not saying give up your culture, give up your language, but if you're going to go to an American school, an American public school, I don't think we should be going out of our ways to teach you in Spanish. I don't think we should be going out of our way to teach you in Hebrew. I don't think we should be going out of our way to teach you in Farsi or Swiss or German. Fuck, you came here, an American English-speaking country, you speak English. You learn in English. You know what? You know what the Jews do? They send their kids to regular school, and then after that, they have Hebrew school. You know what Greeks do? They send their kids to school, and then they send them to Greek school. If you want to subject your children to an extra 4 or 5 hours of school a day, that's up to you. But if you're sending them to an American public school, they better fucking learn English. Okay. Let's see. Prop 59 was bullshit. Okay, Prop 60, requiring porn actors to use condoms. This failed. Good. Last thing I want to see in my porn films is condoms. Okay? And what's really funny here is that originally, when they proposed this, mind you, it is against the law for porn actors to not wear condoms in a porn film in the state of California. It's against the law. But it hasn't been enforced. So what this new proposition wanted to do was to hold the producers, directors, and production companies personally accountable for any time a porn actor was not wearing a condom. This measure failed. So really, again, there's no way to really enforce it. Now, originally, they were doing this as a protection of employees. You're not allowed to. The reason you're not allowed to smoke in bars and restaurants is to protect the employees from secondhand smoke. Bullshit on a stick, but I'm just saying. And that's what they went with here. But they abandoned that tactic, went with a new tactic, which was as a public health issue. Even though porn actors are regularly screened, on average, once a week to once every 2 weeks, and they're screened for everything, syphilis, chlamydia, herpes, AIDS, everything. And before they can go on to work on the set, they have to provide proof that they're clean. But then they said, well, what about the people that they're having sex with off the set? Well, the porn population, do you know how many porn actors there actually are in Southern California? 2,000. There are 2,000 official porn actors in Southern California. Southern California has a population of 40 million people. I don't see 2,000 porn actors having sex with that many people and spreading that much disease anywhere. And the other thing is, the actors don't want to use them. These are consenting adults. I mean, if that's the argument you want to use, then in that case, you know what? Anytime anybody has sex anywhere in the state, There should be somebody there to make sure that you're wearing a condom. There should be somebody there that your husband is wearing a condom. I don't care if you've been married for 50 years and you're in your 70s. There should be somebody there to make sure that your old man is wearing a condom. That's what I voted against that. Prop 62 was a complete fail, which was a repeal of the death penalty, which surprised me quite a bit considering how lefty liberal California really is. And I'll be getting more into death penalty talk when we come back from, guess what? The break. This is more music from BD Lens. This one's called Along the Way. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be right back. The shirt, Joe the shirt, Joe the shirt, Joe the shirt is off the cuff. Yes, I am. Joe the shirt's off the cuff. Welcome back, everybody. All right, we are going through all the propositions that came and went here in California, and we got just a few more to go, and then we'll be wrapping up for the day. It's 2 shows. Awesome. Proposition 61 would put a cap on prescription drug prices. This actually failed, which actually surprised me quite a bit. The proposition was designed so that nobody would have to pay more for drugs than veterans do. You know, veterans have their own particular medical plans that they're under, insurance plans that they're under through the federal government, and whatever it is they pay, it tends to be a lot cheaper than whatever it is most other people pay. And it was believed that they should pass a law that would, cap the price of drugs, because the price of drugs has skyrocketed in the last couple of years. Okay, and medical treatments, like say the EpiPen. The EpiPen, it comes when you get, say, I don't know, like a bee sting or whatever. That the price of your average EpiPen has skyrocketed by about 500%, and somehow or another, California voted against drug price controls. I don't know. Prop 63, background checks for ammo sales and tighter gun restrictions, requires a $50 4-year permit to purchase ammo, and anyone who's just been convicted of a crime has to give up, store, or sell their firearms. This passed. I actually voted against this, mostly because I don't think that background checks really have anything to do with the people who go around on shooting sprees. There's ways around it. It's nonsense. Prop 65, tax on plastic bags for environmental causes. This actually failed, which is actually interesting because the proposition was brought to you by the people that make plastic bags. Now, what they wanted to do was, how if you get a bag at the store, whether it be a plastic bag or a paper bag, they charge you 10 cents for it these days in California, the entire state now. And the idea was that this money will go to environmental programs, environmental protection programs. But what that would do then is take the money away from the store that was providing the bags. So it's a little bit of a ripoff they were trying to come up with. Let's see. Prop 67, a ban on lightweight plastic bags. That, like I said, that's now statewide. Originally, it was only in certain counties around the state of California. Now it is statewide. No lightweight plastic bags are allowed without paying a tax on them. Let's see. Prop 66, speed up of the death penalty appeals process. This I did vote for because I know a lot of you are surprised to hear that I support the death penalty. I do, but only when it's used. The problem I have with the death penalty the way it is now is the appeals process. And you know what happens with the appeals process? You get a guy, he's convicted, he's sentenced to the death penalty, and then he spends the next 30 fucking years or more in prison. Let me put it to this way. Since 1978, only 15 people have been executed in the state of California. Now, mind you, there was about 100 people that were on death row that died in prison before they got to be executed. And the reason I want to speed up the appeals process, because, well, a couple of things. I believe that those guilty of truly heinous crimes should be put to death. I don't believe that there is a way to rehabilitate them, and I don't think they should deserve, a lot of them deserve the opportunity to be rehabilitated. You're a child molester, you're a serial child molester, you get to die. You are a rapist, you get to die. You are a murderer, you get to die. But the problem is, because of the appeals process, these guys stay on death row for like 30, 40, 50 years, or until the day they actually die. And the average inmate on death row costs you, the taxpayer, 3 times as much as any other inmate in prison. Okay? So, fuck them. This new proposition speeds up the death penalty appeals process with a 5-year limit on appeals. If you can't convince somebody that your guy is innocent within 5 years, fuck him, he's got to go. And yes, do I understand that means that every once in a while an innocent person will get the death penalty? Yes, I get that, and I'm okay with it, just like I'm okay with abortion. I'm okay with it. I'm good. I'm fine. And finally, the last proposition, Prop 64, the legalization of recreational marijuana. Yes. Thank you, California. Yes. It is now perfectly legal to smoke weed in your house or any other private residence or establishment. Mind you, much like alcohol, you're still not allowed to smoke in public. You're not allowed to smoke and drive. All right, just letting you guys out there know. Don't go crazy and go, woohoo, I can smoke pot. Let's get in the truck and drive down to Cabo and get high the entire way. No, you can't do that. All right, you can't do that. Just like you can't drink and drive, you can't smoke and drive. All right, you can't drink in public here in the state of California. You can't smoke in public in the state of California. All right, but if you're at home and you want to toke out, baby. It's all you. All right. Okay. And it's very generous as well. You are allowed to, as long as you are 21 years or older, you are allowed to possess up to an ounce of weed on your person. You can just walk down the street with weed on your person, and nobody is allowed to say shit about it anymore. And you don't need a medical card anymore. You don't need that fucking letter that you have to pay some doctor $75 a year for. No. You can just go to a pot dispensary or a pot store and just buy weed because you want to get fucking stoned, all right? Not because you have glaucoma, not because you have cancer, not because... No. I want to be high as a fucking monkey. That's why I'm buying weed, all right? And that's why I'm smoking it. And once again, thank you, State of California. Thank you. Now, like I said, there are some prohibitions. For instance, public smoking, smoking and driving. And there is going to be a price increase in your average eighth of weed. There's going to be a 15% tax on weed. So that being said, let's say you buy an eighth for $60, which I may have done a day or two ago. Let's say you buy an eighth for about $60. Let's see, what does that mean? That means that roughly $12, there's going to be a $12 tax on that. I'm like, okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. So that now my weed's going to cost, instead of $60, it's going to cost me $72. Okay, but it's legal. I'm not getting arrested for it. I can have it with me. I can be in the car. As long as I'm not smoking it, there's nothing illegal. It's just as long as, you know what? Just like with alcohol, when you purchase alcohol and you're driving home with it, you're supposed to keep it in the trunk of your car. Put the weed in the trunk of your car and drive around with it. You're fine. And then when you get to where you're going, you can take the weed out of the trunk in the car, put it in your pocket, and go wherever the fuck you want. Nobody's allowed to say shit to you about it. Now, the only thing that this hurts would actually be the small pot growers and the medicinal dispensaries, because it's recreational, you do not need a dispensary. Now, according to California law, these places are now required to close down. Mind you, they can just reopen as legal pot shops now. Not a problem. Now, we talked a lot about President-elect Trump, and a lot of the things that he went through, a lot of things that have been going on. And I'm going to end on a fun note here. I have a list of celebrities who said that if Donald J. Trump was elected president, they would leave the country. I have a list. The creator of the show, HBO show Girls, Lena Dunham, Bryan Cranston, Cher, Barbara Streisand, George Lopez. Actually, on that one, that's not really that big a deal. Donald J. Trump is probably planning on deporting his ass. Anyway, Raven Simone, Amber Rose of Dancing with the Stars, Keegan-Michael Key, Spike Lee, Omar Hedwick, Whoopi Goldberg, Chelsea Handler, Samuel Jackson, Al Sharpton, Amy Schumer, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We're talking about a Supreme Court justice here, aren't we? Ruth Bader, my God. Jon Stewart, Neve Campbell, Natasha Lyonne, Eddie Griffin, and Miley Cyrus. Well, you know what? For those of us here who will continue to live in the good old US of A, if you guys want to fucking leave, leave. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. Really? What are you going to do? You're going to move to Canada? You're going to move to Mexico? You're going to move to any other country on the planet? It's just a matter of time before you realize, wow, shit, there's no Spago here. There's no Wolfgang Puck. Fuck! Fine. Go. Leave. We don't care. Especially if you're Miley Cyrus. In any case, that is the show, parts 1 and 2. President-elect Donald J. Trump. Everybody, okay, just breathe. And we have one more song to go by Mumbo Jumbo. Actually, by B.D. Lenz. The name of the song is Mumbo Jumbo. Thank you for listening, and I hope I've managed to communicate the way I think to you guys as clearly as I possibly could. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I've been off the cuff. Thank you.